Is there an echo?
Is
No,
there
sir.
echo now?
All right, y'all.
Okay.
The DripNation Podcast. We are back for episode number 8.
You know what I'm
Eight.
Hey,
saying? She in that mode.
And we have a very special guest, the man who birthed Jericho and Solomon of the DripNation Podcast, Catholic Alpha Radical, founder of
Unleashed.
CatholicAlpha.com. How you feeling today? Any thoughts of the day?
The thoughts are, I wish it was 3:00. I wish it was 3:00, but I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock it for y'all. So let's talk about anything y'all want under the sun. I'm ready.
Oh, he's ready.
All
AJ,
right,
how you
first,
feeling today, Mr. Roseman? Wait, oh,
I was gonna say first. I mean, you didn't even introduce us, so I guess I got to introduce us myself. This is Solomon. You know what I'm saying? Who's this? Who's
yep.
our light skinned friend right here?
W Authority. AJ Roseman. Roseman of AJ
Yes, sir.
today, though.
You know what I'm saying? Mr. Group Leader.
This is Jericho Roman Jacobs.
Oh yes, full name.
Full name.
Tune in to Jericho Roman's music.
Yep.
Whenever he is dropping again, we don't know.
Hey, he likes to keep us waiting. I don't know why. He just likes to keep us waiting because we not ready. I
Sorry.
guess we must not be ready. Tune
Sorry.
into the skit I made. Tune into the skit.
Oh, it's a skit. Oh,
Oh, it was a
I'm
while
ready
ago.
for that.
No, it was
No. He gave up again.
I didn't. Yeah, I know. I'm a loser. I'm a giver upper. I'm a quitter. Catholic Alpha didn't
No,
raise
you're
me
not.
up.
Son, don't say you're a quitter. Don't say that.
Catholic Alpha didn't raise me that way, but
You're gonna make me sound like your mama here in a minute. Don't say you're a quitter.
I'm sorry.
So Donald Trump recently won the election. How are we feeling about Donald Trump winning?
Who's starting?
Are we hyped?
I guess me. Me personally, as you guys know in the last podcast, I endorsed him officially. So I think I kind of played a role in him winning because all these people saw that I endorsed him. They like okay. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to see our future.
What do you think he's going to bring to the country?
He's gonna bring a lot to the country. Many things.
We should have made our guest speak first. My bad, Mr. Catholic Alpha. Dad.
So I'm very happy that Donald Trump won. You know, I'm black, so I'm supposed to be voting for the crazy woman Kamala Harris, whatever. And but really, I've been for Donald Trump since before 2016, when he won the first time. Because I like people who tell the truth, who are you. If you don't like Kamala Harris or you don't like Donald Trump, that's fine. But at least with Donald Trump, you get what you see what you get. He's for the most part upfront and straight. And with her, she's like a regular politician. They lie, they scheme. We call them diabolical narcissists. So that means extremely selfish, extremely. They only care about themselves. That's like right now in the Democratic Party, they're not looking at themselves. Why would the whole country, the popular vote, everybody vote for this one man? And they will not look at themselves to see, like, maybe it's my problem, maybe it's my fault, maybe I'm the blame, maybe we did something wrong. How do we connect with the young people? How do we connect with the middle age and the older people? How do we connect with the working man, the middle class, the upper middle class? How do we connect with them? What did we do wrong? They're not going to do with that. They're not going to do that. They're not. You know why? Because people today are selfish. They're not. It's everybody's fault but my fault.
Right. Mr. Roseman.
How I feel about Donald Trump being elected? Honestly, I didn't really care, but I went to the store the next day, and I will say, I seen a lot of sales going on. I don't know if that's because Trump is in office, Also, the gas prices have already dropped tremendously. I don't know. I don't know. But it feels like life is back in its prime, like in 2016. And it's just something in the air. I don't know if it's Trump. I don't know. But that's all
Isn't
I got to say on
2016 when LeBron won the championship?
it. Exactly. Hmm.
We're about to go back to LeBron winning the championship.
It's a
with his
great year.
son.
How you
Yeah,
feel,
my
Jericho?
personal thoughts are kind of same as AJ. I went to Dollar General and went to go grab some candy. Usually the box of Hershey's, of M&Ms is usually like $2-3. I went to Dollar General, it was $1. I'm like, dang, Donald Trump is already making his
Fat
statement.
nigga alert.
You're right. Hey, they also put out that everybody has stopped coming to the border. There are no more wars.
No
Everybody's
more
making
so that means no more Latinas coming over. Got
right.
Dang
Yeah.
it.
it. Okay.
Should endorse Kamala.
Nah, but I feel like if Kamala was, it's hard to tell because she didn't get elected. I don't think she would have done anything special. But Trump, we'll see. Like Dad said, I feel like as a person, I liked him more because he was more upfront. He was like, if you watch like debates and everything like that, Donald Trump, he's very like himself. Like me and Solomon always say, Donald Trump is if AJ was president. He's just out there. He's not
Tell us
hiding
it
who he
is.
is.
Hey
He's not
Jay,
hiding.
you gonna run for president, man?
What was that, Mr. Jacobs?
You gonna run for president?
I don't think I have the credentials to run for president. But if Trump ran for president, I guess I could. I
Yeah, he
guess
was
I
a
could.
businessman. They ain't never done nothing political.
I'm saying he was a TV host before he was in office. So I guess anything's possible.
She just went straight
Facts.
up and straight in. Heard he does that a lot.
All right. Since our guest is here, Mr. Catholic Alpha, with all of our guests, we like to know your life story, your upbringing, and where have you what is it? What else? How you came to where you are today. So, hold up. So yeah, you were born May 20th, 1966.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social security
Like how was
number
your
is
Right.
how was your how was your childhood? Or
uh, my child, it was just me and my sister.
Mhm.
So we moved around a lot.
like cities or just like
No, like in the same city, but we moved
oh.
around a lot. Like, so we grew up in Indianapolis. Um, Me and my sister fought all the time. My sister has a big mouth, so I was always fighting.
Mhm.
You know, fighting other people and stuff for her. And basically, it was a time where, we when we went outside to play, there were a lot of kids out. Like today, when y'all grew up, when kids go out, there's nobody outside. Like, but when we were growing up, there were kids everywhere. Like, you would go outside, there'd be kids everywhere. You guys be playing around, swinging at the park, playing games. I remember one time, it was a really bad winter, and it was snow everywhere. And all of us kids went outside, including my sister, and we played football in the snow. And it's snowing, and it's like 10, 20 kids outside. We're playing football, and it's just not like it is today. It's The country's different, the culture's different, the people are different. It's nothing like it used to be. It's kind of sad, really, but I understand, you know.
Yeah, there was a glimpse of that with me and Solomon. We're like kind of growing up. We're for like 7 to like 12. Like lots of more kids were outside, but now you don't really see it. Uh, so yeah, childhood. How was like from like middle school, like football, girls, stuff like that.
the hoods.
Football and girls. Yeah. I played middle school football. I started playing school football. I forgot what age I was, but I played football in school, middle school and high school.
Mm.
Um, in high school, I got dogged out. Um, I was playing running back. I played running back all the way through ninth grade. Then they put me. I went to middle school. When I got to high school, I played for North Central. At that time, they were a powerhouse, kind of like Warren Central. Well, they're all in the same league now, but at that
Right.
time, um, Gary Thurman. I can't remember the guys' names now, but basically they put me at cornerback. I was strong safety and then cornerback, and I had played offense my whole life. And so when I go to defense, it's just different. As all of y'all have played, if you go from offense to defense or defense to offense, it's a completely different, a mindset. And so I really like football. Then that was the year I tore my first knee up, my knee up the first time. And after I tore my knee the first time, it was basically over after that. Kept getting hurt and stuff. It was a chronic getting hurt stuff. Then once I graduated from high school, went to the Air Force and got married. Went to Guam. That's over in the Pacific, middle of the Pacific. Had my first wife, had my first two kids. And then we were fine. We were happy. Then we came back to Indianapolis. And my wife got my first wife got very, very unhappy. And we started, we went to, she wanted to divorce me, because, I didn't know anything about marriage at the time. I didn't know anything about women really. I mean, I've always had, my whole life, I always had girlfriends. Even when I was like, very young, like 10 years old and above. I've always had a girlfriend in my life. Girls just seem to come to me, but when you get married, it's a whole different it's a whole different ball game. And I didn't know anything about marriage, and I found I didn't know much about women either. And so she basically we were married for like 16 years. And then your brother Max and Marcus, their mother, she caught leukemia, and then she died at age 35. And so that's kind of where that's ended. It took me, like I tell a lot of people, it took me like 2 years to really get over that. I made a lot of dumb decisions during that time. It was bad. Then I met your mother. Well, I've been knowing your mother since I was 12 years old. We met at a day camp, and she's just, she was this little bony 70-pound girl. She's little, man. And
Not my type.
right, right. And we dated on and off throughout middle school and high school. But then when I went to the military and came back, I met her, saw her in Lafayette Square, which Lafayette Square now, it used to be this great mall. It's trash now, of course.
I don't think it's even open anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been, And I saw her one day. She came up to me and we hugged and kissed, and we hadn't seen each other forever. Lauren, your sister, was over there sitting down in the cafeteria. I mean, it was just crazy. And then me and her started dating. Me and your mother started dating, and we fell in love. We went out on a date and stuff, and then Jericho, you were the first one to be born. Solomon, you hadn't come along yet, and then Solomon, after 14 months after Jericho, there was Solomon.
Y'all wasn't playing.
No, we weren't.
No games were played.
I don't play, bro.
Straight to the business.
Yeah,
He said, "What's up?"
that's right. So that's how it came about.
So what about what is it more detail? Like, how was the Air Force? Because Solomon, he almost went.
Yeah.
So, how was that? Especially like back in the 80s.
Especially like what?
Especially like back in the 80s when you went, like mid 80s.
It was, man, the thing about the military, I was they're all about the same. The thing about the different levels of military is basically, it's your intelligence. So you got to pass this test, and then depending on what you score on the test is whether you go to the Marines, Navy, um, Army, or the Air Force. The higher
Right.
Air Force is the highest, then the Navy, then the Army, and Marines are last.
Hmm.
And so when I went though, I passed the test. I was in the Air Force, and it was great. I mean, I liked it. I'd never been away from home before, and it was on. We did a lot of partying. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of friends, white friends and black friends. Didn't matter, and we just really had a good travel all over the world: Australia, Korea, Okinawa, Guam is where I stationed, Texas, Nebraska, Clovis, New Mexico. You just travel all over the world, man, and you meet all these different people. Like you guys are talking about going to North Carolina, that's great and everything. But if you really want to explore the world, man, go to different countries, get that knowledge and meet different people and cultures and stuff, and you'll see a lot of those countries are different, way different than this country. You'll appreciate a lot more. I'm not saying those countries are fun. I'm just saying it's different. Then you meet, I've met Australian women. I've met all kind of women, and that's the real fun part. Like you get to meet all different kind of women and stuff.
So
Who
I
has
have,
the
I have a
best looking
question.
women?
Well, hold on, I have
Oh,
a question. So why did
Mhm.
you say Australian woman like that? Like, is there like a specific reason?
Yes, it's different. I'm not gonna lie. Like Guam, so Guam, like I was married the whole time, but when you're an American, especially when you're a Black American, when you go to different countries, it's different. They like in the '80s, America was still still coming out of the racist kind of thing. Like today, there's really no racism in America. It's a bunch of bull.
Mhm.
There's really no racism in America. A person, a black man can be a black man or a black woman can be anything they put their minds to. It's nothing restricting you from being great. Only reason that people talk about racism is because it's for separatism. Separate the whites from the blacks from the Mexicans, the Mexicans from the Asians from the Indians, and this is all to separate us and to get us to keep playing this race game so they can control us. And back in the '80s and the '70s and the '60s, there was a lot of more racism. What people got to realize is there's always going to be racism. There's always going to be somebody who thinks they're better than you, just like the English and the Scottish, just like the Indians and the Muslims, just like the Catholics and the Protestants. It's always going to be somebody who thinks they're better than you. Get over it. That's why I don't live my life like that anymore. When I grew up, it was always, all white people this, white people that. People who still bound to that, they're idiots. They really are. They have no worth of themselves. And this is why I try to teach y'all, including you, AJ. I try to teach y'all that, man, the racism thing is just a game you can't win. It's always trying to teach you to try to be something that you're really not. Today, people look at you as a real man, as a real woman, and if you're a woman, and you got to start to realize that if you're getting held back by something you don't want to do in this country, it's because you're holding yourself back. And that's really the no all be all of that. Um, and what was your question again? Because I got off. Because man, that thing that really upsets me, dude. When I start talking about, it, I can talk about that all night. But what was your
Oh,
question?
like how the Air Force was like working there because you were there for like I think 10 years. Around
Yeah.
that.
But you asked me something about because it got me into the racism thing. It was something before
Oh,
that.
Jericho. I asked why'd you say Australian woman, but Jericho wanted to ask who was the best looking woman.
Yeah, which
Oh, why
country
did I
has the
say
best looking women?
Australians? Oh, yeah, because Australia is a special country as far as like when you go over there. That's what I was kept saying that. Like when you go to different countries, black men are looked upon a lot different. Like they just flock to us. Like when we would get off the airplanes. They like the white dudes too, but they really like the black dudes. And that's in every country I've been. And I've been to Japan. I've been all over the world in the Pacific. in Europe, not like in Spain and stuff like that, but a lot of places I've been, I was already in the Pacific, and for Guam and things like that. But man, the black man, the women they just like when you go to different countries, they just like come towards you. They gravitate towards you is what the real word is. And when I was in Australia, we go out to clubs and stuff, and the women would just be all over us. We would go to all of us, and I'm not saying I'm proud of this or nothing, but like we all of us always had a woman when we go. There's a certain way that we carried ourselves. Black men don't really realize that we have a lot of influence. Our culture is very strong. People all over the world are really curious about us. But we're stupid in this country as far as men, and we don't understand our power as a man. And when we go out to other countries, they look at us different than here. Like now, here though, like from the 2000s on, 24 years, then I would say even the middle 90s till now, there's no reason for any man, any black, especially a black man, to be a failure. It's really not. You're a failure because you're a failure. You're not a failure because you don't have the opportunity. Because people look at us different, and that's why me and your mother tried to raise y'all to not think about this black-white thing, because what it really does is hold you back. It really, really does. That mindset, man, is crazy. That's why the Democrats got their bus whooped, because Donald Trump was not like that. He was trying to tell like you can be anything you want to be. There's nothing holding you back. Yeah, the economy's not the best it can be. I'm gonna fix that for you. But after that, you got to be your own man and get your act together, and you can do that.
Right. How was coming back from the military, from like finding a job and everything like that, like the transition?
Yeah, so kind of the military, I was in for 10 years. Looking back, I probably should have stayed 20 to retirement. But I got a lot of my father in me. And, my father was an entrepreneur, and he was more of his own man. He didn't like working for people. He always wanted to be his own man. Now, when he died, he wasn't the richest man in the world, but it depends on how you look at it. Some people are meant to have jobs. Like, that's their thing. Like, I want that check every week. I want to have that security. But many people, entrepreneurship, they don't want to work for nobody. They don't want to be told what to do. But there's always going to be somebody telling you what to do. Like, if let's say you have your own business and you create widgets, okay? But you're a salesperson, so your clients kind of dictate what you do, right? There's always going to be somebody in your life controlling what you do. But that being said, that's a lot more freedom than going to a 9-to-5 every day where you got somebody telling you what to do and dictating what you do and don't do. And so coming out of the Air Force, my father taught me how to, one of the most important things, my father taught me a lot of stuff. And I tried to pass it on to y'all. But one of the major things he taught me was how to get money in my pocket. And that's why, like, my father would take you, Jericho. I don't know if he took Solomon, but he would take y'all out, put some incense in your hand, and teach you how to sell stuff, and people give you money. And that's one of the most important gifts that somebody can give you. So that's why both of you, Jericho and Solomon, that's why y'all have this entrepreneurial spirit. Like, you always think about, like, I want to do music, I want to own my own business, because you have that in your blood. And when you do something and you've created it, and somebody gives you money for it, it's very hard to go sit at a desk and have somebody tell you what to do for 12 hours a day, and you can think, well, man, I can go make this kind of money out on my own. I don't need, you know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things my father gave me. I tried to give y'all. So when I came out of the Air Force, my father, here's what he did, right? He said, okay. I said, Daddy, I'm coming out, and I had like $30,000. The Air Force gave me like $30,000 as a severance pay. They wanted us to get out early because they were trying to save money. And he says, look, man, I'm going to teach you something. I said, okay. So I came home and we went to Chicago. At the time, you go to Chicago and you could buy stuff wholesale. You can still do it today, I'm pretty sure. You buy stuff wholesale. So we bought, I love baseball caps. So he showed me, I bought all these baseball caps that had zodiac signs on them and teams like IU and the Colts and Chicago, all these different, like Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls and stuff. So I had these caps, and I came back to Indianapolis, and I had like hundreds of caps. And my father took me, he said, okay, so you got this. So what I want you to do is, I went around with him, we got in his car, and we went around to all the barbershops and black businesses, right? So then he introduced me to everybody, and what happened was, I was like really young. I mean, but I was like 30, I was like 28 years old. And so my father said, this is my son, and he's got these caps. He said, y'all check him out. So we would go to all these barbershops and beauty shops and stuff, and I had these caps, and people start looking at them, and I charged $20 for the cap. And these were nice caps too. And my father, I mean, as I was going around, he would take me to all the places, and people were buying my caps, man. Like, I was getting $20. Just think about it. 4 caps is $100. 8 caps is $200, right? Just think about that. And so at the end of the night, he said, so, man, how much money? He said, I'm sorry, you're right. 10 caps is $200.
Oh, really?
So at the end of the night, my fault. At the end of the night, my fault. We were at the at this liquor store and we're standing outside. He said, "So, son, how much money you got?" I said, "I can't." You know, I'm like, really. I had never done this before in my life, so I pulled out my little money. Right, I started counting in the parking lot. He said, "Boy, don't be counting your money out here in front of everybody." Okay, so we got in the car. So I counted my little money. I had like $300-400. And at that, you know, think about that. You have some merchandise in your hand, and you sell it, and you made like $400 at the end of that 3 or 4 hours or whatever.
How much did the hats cost?
So you get the hat. So what we did was, it's called Keystone. It's called Keystoning. So let's say everybody does it. Businesses do it. Drug dealers do it. Everybody does it. Whatever you have. So basically, you double the price of what you sell it for. So the hats might have cost $5, $6, $7, $8 or $10, whatever, depending on the quality of the hat, right? And so what you do is, Keystone means you double it. So if you had a hat that cost $10, you charge $20 or $25, whatever, you know. If you had like restaurants, they triple, you know, because of the food costs. They triple what their expenses and triple that. And that's why they charge you $25 for that steak or whatever, you know. And so, but think about it. Even so, after expenses, I made $200 or $300 that night, you know. So that's what I did out of the Air Force. I know you're like, what? But I didn't really know anything. Like, I didn't really know what my future held. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't have God in my life. I wasn't Catholic. I didn't really know anything. And I'm just out. And my father was the one that showed me these kind of things. My father really wasn't religious. He wasn't a Catholic or a Christian. He tried to be, but it just wasn't in him. My father he wanted to be his own man, but he didn't realize that being your own man involves God. And that's how you really flourish, right? Because in the end, all the money you make it's not really important. It's your relationship with God, your wife, and your family. Those are the most important things. And then your job, your country, then your job, things like that, right? And so that's kind of what we did. That's what I did. And so for like 10 years, my business, I started going to Las Vegas to what they call the magic show, where there were people all over the world would go to purchase clothes. As I started selling clothes, outfits and things like that, and man, it was a wild time. My first wife, she thought I was messing around on her because I'll be working 12 hours a day or more because I'm out trying to sell these clothes, trying to make money, support the family, support my wife. And I didn't work for anybody. That's how I supported us. We lived in a nice apartment. We had food, and that's what I want you guys to really understand. I know you young men you see Donald Trump, you see Elon Musk, you see Bill Gates, you see all these guys that making all this money, millions and millions of dollars, these businessmen making all this money. But really, man, you can be in business for yourself. You might not be rich, but you pay your bills every month and you support your family. That's success too. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's success too. It might not be to the highest of success of a Bill Gates, but it's still success of I have a successful business that takes care of my family every month. And that's kind of where I was. But what I did that for 10 years, and then I started working for the post office. I worked there for 3 or 4 years. I couldn't take it. And I stopped working there and went back to selling clothes and a business like that. Then what really changed my whole life, even to the next level, life is about levels. Life is about levels, And so the next level was I went to Cursil, which is a Catholic men's retreat that teaches you about God in your life, in the faith. And that changed my life in that it made me start to realize that there's more to life than just making money. That's important, but it's not the most important. And that's how you two were raised. If you look, Marcus, Max, and Lauren weren't raised like y'all two. It's completely different. That's why those three are really jealous of y'all two. It's I know we joke around and play around, but they're jealous because like I changed. So when I changed, your mom changed. When your mom changed, the family changed. And so y'all got to spend a lot more time with us. Y'all were homeschooled, and we were all four of us were closer. And the other three, they're like, why did we have that, right? Like, why did we get to spend that kind of time with mom and dad? Well, me and your mother weren't where we are when you guys were born, right? When we started. And that's what happened. And so then I'm always thinking about how can I make money, right? And so that's when Catholic Alpha came along. And I started wanting to work for God. And I started to realize, man, I can help guys in their marriage and try to get them to realize don't screw up their life with women, and how to really get guys to understand that, your family and God is the most important thing in your marriage, and how to not procrastinate to screw it up. And for 9 years, that's what I've been doing, And I'm not saying I've made a lot of money. Sometimes that's the thing about your own business, and sometimes it's feast or famine. But when you're working for God, it's different than just working just to make money. It's a different level. And when you're helping people, that's why it's important that you three try to figure out, like, what do I really want to do? Now, look, all of you are only 20, 21 years old. Nobody's expecting you to know that I want to be this great scientist or I want to be an astronaut, whatever, right off the bat. The thing about it is you keep fighting, you keep trying to figure out what your life's about, and you don't make the mistakes of having babies and having sex before you're married, because when you start having babies, then you're forced then to do a lot of things you don't want to do. Like right now, y'all don't have any babies, right? You made the mistake of having sex with and having babies and 2 or 3 babies and stuff. And you have no idea what I'm talking about, because you guys have been very disciplined and very good in this area. But I'm telling you, I had a baby Um, my girlfriend in high school, she got pregnant. That's nothing about having sex in high school. Girls come at me all the time. I didn't know nothing, man. I was having sex, you know, every week in high school. Sometimes every day. I'm not saying I'm proud of it.
Player.
What I'm saying, no.
Oh, my bad.
Neglected.
I forgot the message. I forgot the message for a second. My
Not
bad.
even AJ was doing that.
We're not gonna act like we just
What
didn't
I'm,
just hear that.
I'm not proud of it,
Okay,
but
Mr. Jacobs.
I'm not proud of it. I'm trying to let you guys know that when you start having sex, then what's the next level is you start having babies. You can take all the contraception you want. You can wear rubbers. You can, your girl can have a diaphragm. She's gonna be on birth control pills, but eventually, birth control fails all the time. And you look up and you got this baby coming. And when that baby comes, your life changes. There's no more me. There's my girl and my baby. And I got to go out and get a job. I'm not going to work anymore for myself. I'm not going to work to try to figure out what my next career move is. I'm going to work to pay for this baby. And it's a whole different life. Now, my girl, she got pregnant in high school, and she went and had an abortion, and I didn't know it, and it was painful, But what I'm trying to tell you guys is, it seems cool to have sex and stuff in high school and college and stuff, but man, when you get that girl pregnant, it all changes. She even looks different. She don't even look the same no more. Because you're not looking at her as this beautiful girl that's sexy and vibrant, and me and her just hanging out and having fun. When she gets pregnant or she misses her period, you look at her, oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh no, right, exactly. Oh no. Oh,
Nightmares
no.
of horror.
Right. And then of course what happens, she gets mad at you. You don't want the baby?
No.
Right. And so as soon as you go there, now she hates you. You don't really love me. You didn't love me. You just want me for my body. And then the whole relationship changes.
I'm a man. What do you expect?
Exactly. They feel. Another thing too is no woman has sex with you if she doesn't think that y'all got a chance to get married. Now, they fool you. I don't want to be married. I don't want to, I just want to have fun. They lie to you. Why? Because they're attracted to you, and they want to be loved. They want you to be close to them. They like being near you. You like being near them. You have a good time together. Women will tell you anything. I mean anything. I don't want to have babies. I don't want to get married. I just want to have fun. This is drinking party. They'll tell you anything to be near you, because they're attracted to you and they have bonded to you. When you start having sex with them, it like tenfold expands that. That's why guys who don't really understand, every woman you have sex with, every single woman you have sex with, you're bonded to them for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you are bonded to that woman, that girl, or however you want to look at it. And when you get married and you finally find the woman who you love with all your heart, she's probably had sex with 5-10 guys. You've had
20.
sex with 5-10 girls, or what? Right, exactly,
30.
and whatever. And then she brings all that baggage into your marriage, and you guys start having problems. And that's really. I'm not gonna keep on going on, but I just want y'all. Can you ask me? So I'm telling you. And so
It's free game.
in high school, that's what I had so I had my first kid when I was between 18 and 19, between 17 and 18, I think. But at the time, I already signed up for the Air Force, and I was going into the military, and she come calling me talking about, oh, this is a funny story. She come call me talking about, well, I had a baby and I named him after you. So that's the second crazy thing. We ain't
Oh wait, hold on.
together.
Hold on, wait. You didn't know that she was pregnant?
I knew, but I was in basic training. I was in tech school. I was all, I'm in Texas and Illinois. I'm not where near there.
So you was
Me and
already
her,
you were already in the Air Force when she told you.
yeah, we were all, yeah.
Mm.
And so I didn't even know.
Crazy.
I knew. Well, here's what happened. So I've been tasked to go to the Air Force. I went over her house one day, and she was pregnant. And me and her, you know how it is. Me and her get this big argument. Well, that was my excuse to be like, well, I don't want to see you no more. Well, I don't want to see you no more. So here it is. I got this girl. She's pregnant, and I leave, and so I don't see her no more because we're mad at each other. Y'all know how it is. You get mad at each other, you don't talk, right? And back then, there wasn't no cell phones. Okay, I'm in Texas.
I understand.
Yeah, it wasn't no. There's so
TL.
right. So I'm in basic training. I'm in the tech school, and she calls me. Well, I call her. Well, I forgot how I found out, so when she had the baby.
You thought she was gonna have an abortion?
I've been
No,
abortion.
She was too far along back then. You know, back then you could have an abortion at like 9 months and crazy stuff like that. You had to the baby had to be really early.
Oh, like first trimester.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
No.
But so then, man.
40.
So this is funny. Your mama is funny. So me and the girl that had my baby, we weren't seeing each other anymore. And so I call your mother, and me and her been dating on and off since 12 years old. So I call her, we're talking, and when I come back to Indianapolis, I go and see her. And she says, your mother goes, now your mother, fellas, your mother's time is
18.
Yeah, you're no older than that. 20.
Oh.
It was before. I think it was before. It was before Lauren. So whenever that was, and so I go and I see her and I go over to the house, and because I knew where she lived, and she's like, I thought you. She said, what you doing over here? I said, well, I still care about you. I came home to see you and stuff. You did, and
Player.
she said, your mama ain't stupid. She said, he said, I thought you had a baby with Kelly. And I said, yeah. She said, well, don't be coming around here no more.
Then she got pregnant, right?
Yeah, but I
Comes
wasn't
around
around.
full circle, man. Comes around full circle. Don't make fun of me. Come on now.
Right. And so, my point of what I'm trying to say, man, is through your life, man, a lot of things are going to happen. You got every decision you make means something. Even just whether to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning. Every decision you make means something.
Even raising the arm right
your
now
life.
has an effect, right? I just changed the timeline by doing that.
You change everything. And the more devastating the decision, the more it impacts your life. Nothing is a coincidence in this life. Even the person you meet. Like right now, us on this podcast right now, it means something. It's not just we're just here hanging out. It means something. There's an effect to this right here. And once you understand that it's between God and the devil, and everything you make pushes you toward one or the other, and that affects your whole life.
Gotcha. Nice life story.
love
You said what, AJ?
I said I loved it.
Yeah, he came from a lot. So, like, what are your thoughts on or everybody? Like, what are y'all thoughts on the red pill? I'm not sure if y'all know what it is, like red pill and like today's dating, and like how they like.
So why don't you go ahead and explain the red pill? Because
Oh,
there's the red pill, there's the black pill now.
blue pill.
Blue pill. Yeah, yeah. So explain it. Like explain what
Well,
what you mean.
I learned this stuff like when I was maybe like 17 or 16. Cause I saw like videos on it,
Wouldn't get
and
no
then like
females. He's like, you know what? This is over. This
nah.
ends today.
But yeah, basically the red pill is kind of like more so it's like men, or there's like a thing called MGTOW, men going their own way.
Right.
Basically, well, I used to watch this stuff, but I never. Yeah, the older I got, the more I took it like by a grain of salt. It's basically men going their own way. Basically, they use women. You can't really trust women. Um, basically, they kind of say you can't really trust women. Um, one YouTuber that's really famous for that I know, Steph is Cole. I watch his stuff more so. I don't watch his dating videos, but more so his motivational. But there's also other YouTubers. But basically, don't trust women. Don't spend money on women unless they're giving you sex. Stuff like that. Which I say to an extent is true. Just follow this stuff by a grain of salt. I would say don't listen to that fully, in my opinion, because you're just using women, and you shouldn't be using women like that. Also, the blue pill. Well, they call it the blue pill. It's kind of like what's the blue pill? Men basically soft. You simp to women. What else? Sam, you kind of know.
The blue pill is basically a soft dude who lets women walk all over him, spends their money for sex, which is, prostitution, stuff like that. Red pill is, you're supposed to get the girls automatically. You're supposed to get super strong. It's all about the way you look. Be basically like a pimp.
Yeah,
Right.
I think both. Yeah, I think there should be like a middle. Like both, they're kind of too extreme, in my opinion. But there should be like a middle between those, which they call it the purple pill or something like that. I don't even know.
So evil. One thing you guys got to understand is there's only two sides: evil and good. So Christ and the devil, God and the devil, and you've got to understand in your life that this is at work all the time because there's a fight. Because there's a fight for your soul. There's a fight for you to go over to the other side or whatever. So men, our nature is to do anything that will cause us to be effeminate. So what's effeminate? Effeminate is not feminine, right? No, effeminate means attached to pleasure. So instead of going to work and doing everything I'm supposed to do, I'm going to stay home and play video games all day, right? I'm going to live off of my parents, Effeminacy means attached to pleasure. It means an abhorrence to pleasure. Like I gotta have pleasure. That's my main goal in life, the seek of pleasure. And if you think about it, almost everybody in your life is like that. Their thing is, I want to have fun. Everything I do is so I can be happy, and have pleasure. Well, pleasure is of the flesh, and so Christ was not like that. So Christ teaches us how to be men. So how he sacrificed himself, how he gave himself, how he died on the cross, how he confronted people. Suffering is the way to masculinity. Suffering and responsibility. Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen coined that phrase. The way to being a real man is through suffering and responsibility. If you don't suffer, you're not going to learn nothing. AJ, he's a very good basketball player. He's playing in college.
I'm about to buy his jersey.
And so, but think about it. To go to the next level from high school to college, you got to be good, which takes a lot of suffering. I can't be playing video games 24 hours a day because I got to go out and shoot these baskets. I gotta get in competition. I gotta be good. It's everything you want in life is suffering. It's suffering. The faith is the same way. In order to be a great man, to be a man of God, to be the special man of respect, it's not about money. It's about what others think of you. And effeminacy ruins men because all we're doing is we just want to be. That's why we just want to be of pleasure. And when you see most boys today, most people you see today, most men, we're talking about men, not women right now. Men Our problem is we want to be pleasurable all the time. We want to play on a golf course. We want to go fishing. We want to be. We want to be. We want to eat. We want to be on drugs. We want to do whatever. We want to drink alcohol all the time.
Shrooms.
You know, and so that's the way we get to that. Men are mainly wusses too. We're wusses. We'll sleep with a girl. We will date a girl, and if she wants to have sex with us, we're not man enough to turn her down. But we'll use her body up for 5, 10, 20 years, and then we won't marry him. And then the woman gets mad, and she's like, "Well, why don't she leave you?" And you get mad at her. Well, what we had was good. No, what we had was good.
It was weak.
We was weak. You was weak. You used me, huh? That's what I'm saying. She was weak. He was weak. I mean, he was weak. You know,
ain't got no mental fortitude.
Yeah, and so the blue pill and the red pill, let's start there. The red pill is because, and I've heard of it, and it's because
it's like a modern
men will think of anything. We all rationalize our way of thinking. Mm-hmm. So in order the reason the red pills come along, because men are mad. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I want to have all the sex I want. I want to treat a woman any kind of way I want. I want her to live with me, and I want to leave when I want. And then when she don't do what I want, I get mad.
Treat them like objects, basically.
But on the other side, women, they get tired of getting treated like an object, because that's why that's one of the reasons you have marriage. Because it's the mutual agreement that we're no longer going to be in high school. We're going to grow up. We're going to be adults. We're going to have a family. We're going to create something important. That's what marriage is about. Any man that doesn't ask a woman to marry him after they've been together for at least a year or two, he's a wuss.
AJ?
He's a wuss.
AJ?
Only if you're having sex, though.
They ain't been there yet, my bad.
Only if you're having sex.
No, they're not.
When you do, this is why I try to get you guys to understand.
They're both separate.
When you don't have sex, you can leave at any time, and you might be upset, or she might be upset, but there's no bond like that. But when you have sex, it changes the whole dynamic of a relationship. You're bonded to her, she's bonded to you. That's why women go and put knives in your tire to visit you at your job and embarrass you at your job. See, you guys have never had that problem before.
Thankfully.
Woman coming to your job, you done had sex with her, and then you out mess with some other girl because you tired of her. She get mad coming to your job and bust through the whole thing and embarrasses you at your job, or she scratches your car, or she show up at your apartment.
Has that ever happened to you?
No.
They know not to mess with the Captain Alpha, man. They know what's up.
No.
They know what's up.
You know why? Because usually, man, I try to date one girl at a time.
That's also another thing with the red pill. They try to
One step at a time.
I do know they say something like you're supposed to have women in rotation.
At least 4 or 5.
You told us like you could do that, but like don't have sex with them. Let them know. But like they believe in like having sex with multiple women if you want to, basically.
Because that's being a wuss. That's not being a real man. Like I've told AJ this too. All three of you, pick a woman, and I will teach you how to keep that woman happy for the rest of her life. The problem is you got to find the right woman. You can't. When you start sleeping with a man and having sex with him and being intimate with him, it changed the whole dynamic. You can't think straight, and she definitely can't think straight. Her mind's not clear, and so when you get married, you guys are getting married under stress, under pressure, right? Or you're living together under stress, under pressure. It's very important that you boys, you men understand, you young men understand that. Listen, I had sex when I was in middle school. I had sex when I was in high school. When I was in the military, it was wrong. I'm not saying it was right, but see, I didn't know any better. Nobody really. That's just kind of like now. It's kind of what you do. But nobody ever told me how wrong it was. But I tell you what, I knew when I had sex for the first time, I knew it wasn't right.
How old were you?
Well, this girl, I don't know how old she was. She's like 7. But anyway, I was like 6 years old. I know. This girl, we had white girl.
Came out the womb plate.
Little 7-year-old girl, like a 7-year-old white girl. She had me behind the building. We were outside, and that's my earliest memory. Yep.
Were you a victim, or was it mutual? Was it consensual?
I was mainly a victim,
Oh, never mind.
but I'm
I don't want to get.
six.
I don't want to talk about childhood trauma.
I
I'm
have, a,
My bad.
six.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
What's that?
I said you don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
Uh-huh.
But how many women have you had sex with? Like, you can plead the fifth.
Honestly, I don't even remember. I'm being honest. I don't remember. I'm the type of man though. I usually only date one woman at a time, and I'm a type of dude that I don't like being around a woman. Look, I like hanging around well, y'all know that. Like, I've got men friends, but my wife is my best friend. I don't play those games like that, right? And because my thing is, I'm gonna be with a woman. I'm gonna be married. That's just how I am. I want a companionship of a woman. I love my wife. I want to be with her. That's my best friend. We do everything together. And if I'm not with my wife, I'm either with my kids or doing something for God, or I'm at work or something. That's my life. That's how you become great. See, that's the thing about people don't understand. Like, everybody's always trying to strive toward greatness. They think greatness is having $1 billion, being an Oprah Winfrey or an Elon Musk or something. Okay, if you are, that's cool. But that's after you get so much money, it's empty, right? We all know that. We don't have a lot of money, but we all know that money doesn't. It makes you happy to a point, right? There's a feeling in your as you guys get older, you'll start to realize there's this hole in your gut that can't be filled, and it can only be filled by God. And if you don't pursue that, what'll start to happen? You will turn more and more over to the evil one. But the way you could be great in this life, you got to ask yourself. Okay, you got to ask yourself, why is somebody born in Haiti, which is one of the poorest countries in the world, and suffering and sacrifice, and why is somebody born in the United States? Why is somebody born in Australia? This is how you know there's a God. This is how you know there's a God. We're not just placed around here randomly. God places us around the world, in different places in the world, in order to help for our souls to grow closer to Him. And so what you got to realize is there's a different reason why someone's born in Haiti, someone's born in the United States.
Right.
And the way I look at it is, my job is to be great to be a great man. This is how you're measured as a man, ultimately. Think about it. You're measured through your relationship with God, the love your wife has for you, and the respect of your children. That's the measure of a man, dude. That's the only measure, true measure of a man. And if you don't have that, you're gonna be empty. I don't care how much money you got. Tyrese, I'm looking at this video of Tyrese is getting interviewed by Shannon Sharp on.
Tyrese.
We all know, yeah.
But the dark skinned dude,
yes,
bald head, yeah.
Yes. You could tell that dude.
Congratulations.
He's got all the money in the world, but he's still miserable. He's still unhappy. A lot of stars, a lot of famous people rich people are unhappy and empty. Because money and fame only does so much, gentlemen. It only does so much. I'm not saying it's bad or good. What I'm saying is it only does so much. Let's say AJ, he's this great college basketball player, and all of a sudden here comes this, he gets invited to the draft. He's sitting right there on draft day, and the number one, then there's the Lakers are number one, the Pacers number two, and the Chicago Bulls number three, and when he gets drafted, his contract, he's making $30 million starting out his first year. Dude, do you know how happy that boy gonna be? His daddy, how happy his dad's gonna be? His mama gonna be turning flips in her grave. Oh, my son, But I'm telling you that, yeah, now he's got $30 million and he's got this great NBA career. Now what?
Pass some change to
You,
me. That's what's next.
right.
Oh,
Give me
But,
a meal. Give me a meal.
come on, AJ. We
You know,
built you. We made you,
right,
AJ.
we
man, we
made
your
you.
boys,
We're the reason you are who you are.
But my point of what I'm saying is, man, after that, now what? No matter how high you make it in this life, as far as monetarily and as being as famous or infamous, you will get that empty gut you're feeling, and that hole is God. What you're feeling is a lack of God. Without God, man, eventually you become numb. You don't become the true person you're meant to be. And it's important. It's very important. Um, and that's what changed my life. That's what changed my goal in life is to grow as close to God as I can in this life, so I don't suffer in purgatory after I'm dead. And that's how you guys. The reason all three of you guys don't pray, the reason all three of you guys don't really see church and mass like you should, is because your knowledge is defunct. You're not seeking the knowledge of the supernatural world. You're not seeking the true knowledge. You might ask, like, how does my dad, how does Mr. Jacobs know all this stuff? I know all this stuff because I have the fruit of the Holy Spirit. It's called wisdom. I see the world for what it truly is. I'm not, I've worked very hard to be like this. And I don't really get on Jericho and Solomon and Marcus and Lauren. Y'all grown. You go through your life the way you want to go through your life. Me and your mother's job is to guide y'all through your life. AJ's dad's job is to guide AJ through his life. Now, it comes to a point in time, though, as a man, you got to take responsibility for your own life and realize that all this stuff is fleeting. Emotions are fleeting. My money's fleeting. My possessions are fleeting. What's the only thing that's eternal? That's your relationship with God. And if you don't understand that, your whole life is going to be about God sending pain in your life to get you to see you need me. When I say me, you need him, right? And this is why all three of you are very intelligent kids. You're very intelligent. All three of you are. And your AJ, your pops, Jericho, me and your mother, and Solomon, we try to encourage you guys to start to try to see the world for what it really is. You must in God Christ in your life. But if you choose not to, that's your business. That's between you and the Holy Spirit. But I'm telling you, and I will promise you this, the more you neglect God and your responsibility as a man, when you get married, your life's going to be hell. You're going to have a lot of pain, unnecessary pain in your life. All you guys are young. God gives you a chance right now because you're young. He's not as hard on you as he would be on me. Because I'm older, I'm Catholic, I'm responsible, I know better. You should know better, Jerry. You're 58 years old. You're not a kid anymore. You know better. You three, you're going to get more of a leeway from God. He's going to give you a little time to get your life together, to figure this out, to try, But eventually that will run out. I promise you, it will run out. And that's what this red pill and blue pill thing's all about. These men, especially the red pill, they have no idea what life is about. They really don't. They think it's about using people, getting what you can from them. She's treating me bad, I'm going to treat her bad. When you get married, if your wife treats you bad and you treat her bad, that's like you're in high school. Two people fighting and bickering and arguing. Somebody's got to be the adult,
Facts.
And that's what I want from y'all, for y'all. That's what happiness is. Anybody that sees my marriage, they wish they had it. All my kids want to be married. Every single one of them. You know why? Because they see their mom and daddy. That's not me bragging. That's the truth. All my kids want to be married. They want a woman or a husband or a man that's going to fulfill them. My daughter, don't you go there, boy. That's my daughter. My daughter Lauren, she wants a husband to make her happy. My sons want a woman that's going to make them happy. Because of what I created, me and my wife. And so when all three of you start having kids, You're not a real man until you get married and start having children. That's when you become a real man. And then guess what? You'll realize everything I'm saying right now, AJ, everything your dad's saying, you're gonna start being, oh my God. I tell y'all what, my father used to tell me all kind of stuff. Daddy, just like y'all do, daddy. I got married.
Be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously.
Fair enough.
That's
Heard enough.
That's the truth. Y'all don't mean to be like that, but you're young. You got a lot of hormones going. You know everything. Believe me, we understand. But I tell you what, when you get a wife, and you have that first kid, and the pressure hits you. Oh my God, I gotta go out and go to work because I gotta bring some food home. Then you become a man. These people you see out here that live together, they ain't real. They're not real. They're not. That's not real. There's no commitment there. Men you see walking around, see with all these women and stuff, and they don't marry them. They don't pick a woman. They got these superstars. You see they got kids all over the globe. Those are not real men. They have no responsibility. They can walk away anytime they want.
Young boy, Tyreek Hill.
If you want real respect, man, you gotta live a life of God, and your wife and your kids will love you and respect you. That's what this life's about. Sure, we all want money, right? We gotta eat, right?
Yes, sir.
I'd love to have $1 million right now or $1 billion right now. Some of us are talented in making money, some of us not. Solomon, you might go out here and one day get a business and make $1 billion. Jericho, you might never. You might just be a middle-class man and just making it.
Paycheck
That's
to
not
paycheck.
making it. But the thing about it is you learn over your life. You start to learn, what am I here for? And that's what you three gentlemen should be asking yourself. What is my purpose in this life? Even at 20 years old. Used to be men, boys would mature a lot earlier than they do these days. Jericho and Solomon, we were homeschooled. When you started going to Chittard, y'all saw right off the bat. You saw right off the bat that you were a lot more mature than most of the kids in that school. You saw it. Of course you did.
Especially AJ.
Yeah, especially AJ. My bad. Then we turned into him.
Right. So, and that's another thing. Either you influence your environment, or your environment's going to influence you.
Right.
And
AJ,
that's one thing that me and your mother have always been proud about you and Solomon, Jericho, is that everywhere you two have ever been, you've always influenced your environment. You never let your environment influence you. And that's the first one of the marks of a true man. I don't jump off a bridge because my best friend jumped off the bridge. You know what I'm saying?
I jump off the bridge because I want to.
You jump off the bridge because you chose to jump off the bridge. AJ, I'm sure you're the same way. You hooked up with Jericho and Solomon, and you realize, hey, y'all got this kind of bond. Even with the other fellas, the other two. Who the other three? Who was the other three? What's the football player?
Nate.
It's at the college now.
Mark Johnson.
Nate Dogg. We call him Nate Dogg, right? And then
Nate Dogg still exists.
Right. Y'all remember in Chittard, it was like 6 or 7 of y'all, right, AJ?
AJ wasn't in that group.
He wasn't?
Nah, he
was after.
Yeah.
I was before their time.
Wow. I didn't even realize that.
No,
Who's the
AJ.
top? Go ahead.
He wasn't really our friend until him and Sol
Senior
were always
year.
friends.
Yeah, like senior
That's
year.
right.
Me and AJ were really friends till after I graduated.
That's right. Okay.
You should have been friends with AJ in high school, bro. Man, it's hilarious.
Touch back on the topic, AJ. What are your thoughts on modern dating and the red pill and blue pill? AJ,
The red pill and the blue pill.
from what you've heard.
From what I've heard, I've picked up some pretty good knowledge on it. I'm still not fully, don't fully really comprehend the blue pill and red pill philosophy, but it sounds very intriguing and interesting. I might get into it after this conversation.
That was a serious deflection, wasn't it?
Good Lord.
So, what are your thoughts? Well, how about modern dating? How about modern dating? Like, its place today. What do you like? What do you think about that? At least modern dating,
I feel like
where
modern dating,
everyone's at.
bro, especially in like today's day and age, you don't really see a lot of like seriousness in the relationships. You kind of just see like, especially like in college, I see a lot just a bunch of hookups and just like a bunch of lust. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see a lot of seriousness going on nowadays, and usually when it does get serious, it usually ends up bad. And what I mean by bad, usually there's a lot of temptation around you, a lot of sin that goes around, because I don't know, guys and girls, they just somehow fall into temptation. One thing leads to another, and they end up cheating, doing their significant other wrong. I don't know, but I just see that a lot, especially in college. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Mr. Jacobs, the other Mr. Jacobs,
Hey, why
in
are
the
you
red.
why are you hiding your face?
Am I?
Who?
Maybe it's just me. Maybe. Oh, never
No.
mind.
What?
I don't know. I just couldn't see your face. No, I kind of missed it.
Stop focusing
Anyway.
on my face and focus on the question I asked.
But I was just, I just missed it. You know what I'm saying? But what do I think about the red pill and blue pill?
In modern dating overall.
I think it's dangerous. I
Mm.
think it's a dangerous way to live. Me personally, I don't live that lifestyle. Yeah, I just don't live that lifestyle. But I think it's pretty dangerous. In modern dating, I don't know. It's not. I think we're all, especially I don't know how it is for older people, like 30, 35. But from like my people around my age, I don't really see much wifey material women out here. And I'm not saying that I am marriage material because I'm not married. But I don't see any women out there who I want to marry or like. I'm pretty sure there are, but majority of what I see is we outside, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who wants that? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think maybe I just have to get older. Then maybe I'll find some wifey material woman. But right now, I don't see any.
Well,
Yeah.
like I don't understand, like why, well, like AJ, right? AJ is at a place where there's an enormous amount of women. Like he sees,
His age.
well, no, like he's in college, right? So he's
Yeah.
gonna see a lot of different women, right? Because he's around in that arena. You two, you have jobs, right? So y'all go to work every day. Solomon, you have two jobs. Basically,
If you,
Jericho has two jobs.
if any of y'all
too.
ladies, if any of y'all ladies hear that, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 jobs.
And he has a
That's
Kia
it.
K5. Red seats.
Hey, okay, hey, chill out.
Well, my question is, like Jericho, you and Solomon, y'all's chance of finding that woman because that you're looking for, or is because you don't see women all the time, right? Like AJ sees them like probably what 100 women a day, AJ or more.
Dang near, yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky.
So he can look and say, okay, I like her, I don't like her, but you two though, you have jobs, so you're working at 8-10 hours a day. You don't really not exposed to a lot of different women because your job, you're not like in the military. I was exposed to a lot of different women. AJ's exposed to a lot of because he goes to college. You two, you have jobs, so your exposure is a lot less. Is what I'm saying. So my question is, and I don't care who answered it, but all y'all can answer it. Like, why don't all three of you? Why don't you go and like to a dating site like Catholic.com and try to like try to expose yourself to a more of a number amount of women so you can have this open exposure to more multiple times. We have more women. Why don't y'all do that?
Well, me personally, I have. I don't know. I don't really like the Christian dating apps because it's not really like much women on there.
Yeah,
What?
it's
Really?
very small. Yeah, it's very small.
And like the women usually don't look good. I'm just being honest. So yeah, I like more like the secular dating apps. I mean, you get to talk to them. You see like where their brain is at. The hardest part is getting the match. To be honest,
What do you
Fair.
mean?
getting them like matching and then like talking. Because sometimes it might end in like a couple messages.
Yeah, it's not that easy. You gotta. I mean, as far as dating apps, it's like I saw something. The top 20% of men, or 20% of the top men get 80% of the women, and then the other 20% only get. Other 80% of men only get like 20% of the women, something like that. And women, they're not really on dating apps like that as well either.
Women can any do they want, just like that.
Yeah, women can just get a. Honestly, women can just get a dude like that. Dude's a lot harder. You have to also as a man, you have to use more of your personality. They have to see your charisma. How you carry yourself is more about that. Women's just like more looks. Men were very easy as far as that. Women are a lot harder to seduce. Men were very, like I said, split seconds to seduce a man. Women, they need more of you. So as far as the dating gaps, they're just going off looks. They can't really see what women are usually attracted to in a man as far as like to the way you carry yourself, your job. So they're just going based off your looks. And most women think men are unattractive, or they think lots of men are just So they're not as lustful as we are. So that's why I don't really go on dating apps. I'm not saying I'm ugly, but I'm also not,
Before
You're not Solomon Jacobs for nothing.
I'm very,
I'm saying,
I'm very,
you're not me. You feel me?
I'm very regular Joe Schmo. He's walking down the street, besides my strength. But
Superhuman strength.
but yeah, like I said, they gotta get to know you. So, like I said, I don't really like dating apps as well either. So,
What do you think, AJ?
before I met my girl, like I used to use dating apps, but like I kind of stopped like using them because most of the people on those apps were really just looking for like one night type of things, just like have fun,
yeah, that's another
be like flings. Like they weren't really trying to take anything serious for real, and I wasn't really trying to get caught up in that. So that's why I just stopped using the dating apps and just started talking to people like more in person and stuff.
What about and any of y'all three? Like, I looked at Catholic.com and it looked. I mean, I know. I will give you this, that like a lot of the girls. Back in the day, we call them homely looking, right? Which is what you're saying. Like we call them homely looking, like no makeup. They ain't got their hair fixed. They really don't. They're not trying to look attractive, look homely. So why? But when I went on there, it looked like you could, like they had everybody was divided into like their beliefs in the faith, and then you would, once you went through it, then it would like sort the women out like that. And one of the things it looked to me like, one thing I do realize about those days, the site is it's not what the person says, it's what they don't say. And a lot of things, but yeah, I understand what you guys are saying, but when it comes to getting this is the person, these are women who you're thinking about spending the rest of your life with. You got to really spend time. Like, you really got to spend time and really read what they're saying, spend the time, and go through the stuff, and then be patient. Like, we want a woman like right now, and that's not really how it is. So, because what I went on there for, first of all, for research, but I had, like, Mark, before he got married, that boy, I was like trying to get his butt, me and his mom was trying to get his butt married to get him out of the house, right?
You gotta get out the house first, but
right.
but never mind.
But still, yeah, you gotta, right. But my point, what I'm saying is,
W sneak this.
and
he knows how I feel. It's all love.
Yeah,
I start to realize, like, man, it's a lot of women on here, and you just got to take your time and really go through the stuff and really find the women who you like, who you think you might like. Now that takes time. You might have to go through 1,000, 100, 500 women on those apps, but it will pay off. I mean, yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. This is the problem I have with men all the time. Like Jericho, you just did. Like, what? Well, in order for your marriage to be great, you got to put in the work. It takes work. Anything worth having takes work.
Takes work.
It really, really does. When you get married and your wife don't act right, you're gonna be like, oh, Is that how you're gonna be?
Gonna smack her.
Women do go through a monthly cycle, so maybe I'm just playing.
But well,
I'm just playing.
That's
I'm
a
just
good
playing.
point
But yeah.
too.
Don't cancel.
You got like
You gotta know how to deal with their emotions, yeah.
But Jericho, one of the things that I teach is you gotta know your wife's monthly cycle. You really do. You gotta understand what her menstrual cycle does to her during the month. So yeah, you're right. I know you're just joking, but it's the truth. If you don't know your woman's menstrual cycle, you're not being a good husband. And the reason you gotta know that because her emotions and things change throughout the month. And if you don't know that, you're gonna take things wrong, right?
Personal.
Yeah, you will, and you don't really have to.
Or when they have postpartum, the postpartum stuff after the child.
Yep.
Lots of changes. They go through a lot of changes and stuff.
So I have a question. So women go through a lot of changes. Do men go through changes, or is that like a woman thing?
So, okay. So women is very drastic, right? So women, when they hit menopause, what is menopause? Menopause, a woman's between 40.
The old lady disease.
Not necessarily. Well, no, you're right in a way.
Yeah.
But usually it's between a woman usually starts at 40. It can start as early as 40, between 40 and like 50 or 60. Yeah. But what does menopause mean? Menopause means that your wife stops her menstrual cycle and she's no longer able to what? Have babies.
Doesn't their sex drive go down too?
Yeah. The sex drive goes down because why? Their hormones. They lose their hormones. So when it comes to men, it's kind of the same, but it's different. So with men, all of your hormones are contained in your semen. So men that masturbate and stuff like that, what happens is they'll start getting erectile dysfunction. They'll start having premature ejaculation. Their sexual performance when it comes to a woman will start to wane or not be any at all. They're horrible lovers. Men who masturbate are horrible lovers. No woman really wants to have sex with them. One thing, they're selfish. If a man masturbates, he's selfish. So as a man, your hormones are contained in your semen, your sexual. So when it comes to men, it's like there have been men in their 30s that have erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation because they're masturbating and watching pornography. Believe it or not, it's a reason that you don't do that stuff because it hurts you as a lover. And if you're not a good lover, I don't care who you marry, you're gonna have real serious problems. Okay.
The top 3 as far as importance in the marriage, sexual performance.
Sex is number 2.
Number 2.
The most important thing in your marriage is prayer. Why? Because you need the grace from God to keep your woman and your family in peace. The second most important thing is sex. Why? Because sex is builds a strong emotional connection between you and your wife, and then your wife takes your love as a man and spreads it to your children and to your environment. So that's really intimacy in marriage is very, very important no matter how old you are, 20 or 90.
That's
deep.
So
I didn't. Oh,
go ahead. No,
I didn't get to touch my opinion on modern dating.
We don't care.
Okay.
Well, guess I get all
dang it, I
yours
bet.
in return. My thoughts are really. Solomon kind of touched base on it, as far as it's not really. There's not really no women that I see. Well, I work with lots of women at my job, but like used to see them at Cracker Barrel. But when you see them out and about, even when we hang out at colleges and stuff, I never really see a woman I really wanted to marry. But I say you are who you attract. So me as a man, I would say I need to improve. There's a lot of departments I really need to improve on. I'm not saying I'm not where I want to be as a man, really. But I'm not where I don't want to be. So I just need to do a lot of improvement, and then I'll say I'll find a wife. Hopefully in the next couple years. But like I said, I just need to improve. Just need to get more, get my stuff better. But I'm only 21, almost 22. But at the same time, also it's not a rush, but it's also not time to play around.
It is a rush.
I said also not time to play around. But
No. I'm saying it is a rush.
Mm-hmm.
You know, men. First of all, women used to go to college for one reason. What do y'all think
Get
that
married.
was?
Find a husband.
Amen. This stuff today about women going to college, we're gonna be doctors and astronauts and police officers and all that stuff. Nobody's saying a woman isn't capable of doing those things, but that's not her purpose in life. Her purpose, we're here for what? We're all here to create souls to go back to God, to spend eternity with Him. Men have their roles, women have their roles, and we get really. If you look at it, that's what really works. You start to look at it. That's what works. And so with you three, men, period, you're not married, and you're saying, well, it's not a rush. Hell, if it's not, how long can you go? Listen, you see these crazy women all day long. They got on tight jeans, tight spandex. They showing their bodies. I mean, how much longer you think you can go without saying, screw it, I'm just going to have sex with somebody because I can't take it? You're 20 years old, 21 years old.
Almost 22.
Yeah. Your hormones are raging right now. I know they are. That's why women and men used to get married at 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. There's no such thing as 30, 40 years old getting married. First of all, women, when they start getting older, they can't have babies and stuff. Or they start having a lot more complications. The trick is you have all your babies early, and then when you're 30, you're 40 and 50 years old, your kids are all grown, and you can go do whatever career you want. But see, now, men, they get all the sex they want, women get sex, and they think, well, then nobody gets married, and now it's all screwed up.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question.
That's why we.
Hold on, real quick.
Three people trying to talk.
One of the ways you draw a woman to you, a woman, is one thing you pray a rosary every day and ask God to send you the wife you're supposed to have. That's the first thing you do. And then the next thing you do, we'll talk about that later if you want, but go ahead.
So, still on the marriage topic, how many, how do I phrase this question? How many partners is too many for a woman, like sexual partners is too many for a woman to have, if you were to give a number or a range for you to get married?
When she's not married, one.
So if she's had sex with one person, if she's had two, then that's too many to get married to?
No, if she had one, too many.
Oh, okay.
So your next question should be like, Dad, why is that?
So 100% of women?
What'd you say, Jericho?
100% of women?
You said how many sexual partners is it too many for one woman to have?
Let me broaden this out. Like let's say I don't know how to broaden it out.
Oh, brother, come on.
Because I don't know. Okay, so let's say she's been married. Okay, let's say you're like 30. She's been married. She's had a kid. And let's say the husband was a drug addict. Would she be able for me to marry? I'm 30 years old, single, all that. She has a kid, though.
So, a woman. So here, okay. Let's start from not the beginning, but like a critical part of this. You've got to understand, women cannot take trauma like men can. So what does that mean? So in the Garden of Eden, God made Adam responsible for his house. He was responsible for naming the animals, the trees, the fruit, everything, right? Adam was responsible. Adam was responsible for. God gave Adam responsible for the care of the earth. Eve wasn't even around yet. So that's how you know, as a man, you're supposed to be the leader and the spiritual leader of your home. The second thing is, men are more logical. Men are more logical. Women are more what? Emotional. You got to ask yourself why. Men are more logical because men, their job in the eyes of God is broader. As a man, you're responsible for the diapers, for the trash, to make all the money, for the house, taking care of the car, the happiness of your family, your wife and your children. It's your responsibility in the eyes of God for that. Women, they're more emotional. Why? Because their job is the children, to nurture them, to nurture you as her husband, and to nurture the children. So she doesn't have time. Your job is more broad. Women's job is more narrow. But both jobs are more important. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important that you understand that in the eyes of God and the way it's supposed to work is women cannot take, so consequently women cannot take emotional trauma like a man can. So when a woman sleeps, so let me just put it like this. So when a woman, the more men a woman sleeps with, if she has an abortion, a miscarriage, if she's been raped or she's been abused abused, if she's lost a parent or a sibling, that emotional trauma she really can't take. It stays with her. Men are different. We can kind of get over things a lot more different because we're made up psychologically different. So when you ask me, I know Solomon's gone,
but y'all can't see me?
When y'all ask me how many
Hello?
men is too many for a woman to sleep
Hello?
with, it's one if he's not her husband.
Y'all hear me?
Why? Because anytime a woman sleeps with a man that is not her husband, she becomes spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically damaged. So if you marry a woman who's divorced, you gotta know what you're getting into.
Hello?
You gotta know what you're getting into. She has a lot of baggage. Why is she divorced? What did her husband do to her? Why is she leaving? What's going on?
Hello?
She got a kid. Just like when you guys are out there, let's say AJ, he's at college and he sees this girl, oh my God, I love her, and she's beautiful, and she, I want to marry her one day, and she has a kid. Well, you got to understand, when you marry a woman with a kid, she got a lot of baggage, and she's going to bring that into her marriage. And you got to understand, as a man, you got to understand how to deal with that. If you don't know how to deal with that, you're going to have serious marriage problems. And so that's what I think that's what he was trying to ask. Right? It's not that you can't marry a woman that has a child. It's not that you can't marry a divorced woman. But you better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing. Because it's going to be there can be a lot of problems. It's going to be a lot of baggage that she has. Like with you, if you guys sleep with another or the women and you get married, a lot of your baggage is going to go into your marriage. And baggage hurts marriages. That's why God wants us to be virgins when we get married. Because there's no baggage there. When we come together, we're experiencing this together. We make love for the first time. Hey, okay, so a lot of times story's the best. So I had a client one time, and he never had sex before, and she did. I had another client that she never had sex before, and he did. And the thing about it is they were having sex for years and years and years, and she had never had sex before, and he had serious premature ejaculation, and she didn't even know the sex was bad. You see what I'm saying? So you know what premature ejaculation is, right? Or not?
Not necessarily. I've heard, but not necessarily.
So premature ejaculation is when you're making love to a woman and you cannot, you ejaculate before your wife has had an orgasm. So that could be 5 seconds, it could be 20 minutes or whatever. So premature ejaculation, what that means, I know that is kind of funny when you say it, but so premature ejaculation is this. So it is when you, as a man, you're having sex with your wife, and before she has an orgasm, you ejaculate. As you would learn, when you start having sex, when you ejaculate, the sex session's over. It's over because it usually a young man can get hard again in like 20 minutes or something, but a woman, the mood is kind of over, right? That's why you hear people who've had sex before, women talk about he's a 2-minute brother or whatever. So, but the more accurate definition of premature ejaculation is when a man and his wife, a man has an orgasm before his wife has had a chance to have all the orgasms that she needs for that particular sex session. So, what does that mean? It might be one. It might be 1 or 2, which is rare, or it might be 10 or 20. So that's the difference between a bad lover, a mediocre lover, and a world-class lover. How many orgasms you can give your wife?
So I have a
If you don't give her enough, she's going to become sexually frustrated. Go ahead, Solomon.
So out of those 3 rankings, where do you rank? I'm just asking for a friend.
I don't know, Solomon. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know at all. You know what? Actually, I don't want to know.
There you go.
So why?
Pitbull.
So, to be joking aside, I'm in the upper echelon.
Don't mean to toot your own horn, though, right?
I don't like to, but in this case, you asked me, so I have to tell you. You listen. Here's the deal. You gotta learn how to be a world-class lover when you're married. If you want to keep your wife happy, and you want prayer, intimacy. Those are the top 2 things: basic relationship with God and intimacy. You've got to learn. Those 2 things are the most important thing in your marriage. If you can't get those together, you're gonna have problems, big-time problems. You're gonna look up. You're gonna come home. Your wife and kids gonna be gone, and you're gonna be at home by yourself. But see, nobody's gonna tell you that but your daddy and AJ, your friend's father. Nobody's gonna tell you the truth because most people don't know that.
Gotcha. A game of Would You Rather, real quick. Would you rather be homeless for a year
Ooh,
or be in prison for a year?
ooh. Who you asking?
First option, you said be in prison or
Homeless
be
for a year or be in prison for a year?
homeless. No.
Yeah, I think homeless.
Prison. I'll be in prison for a year.
Do you want to be in prison with Diddy or
Diddy or who?
just
Diddy
homeless?
Diddy or what was his name? Jeffrey Dahmer.
Diddy for sure.
I think I'll take Diddy.
I take the homeless.
Homeless. Yeah, I think homeless. I can sleep in a car for a year. Would you rather know when you die or how you die?
Ooh.
I'd say when.
For sure win.
Oh man.
Then I know what to do with the rest of my time.
Actually, yeah, I do win.
When?
That's a great question.
That's hard. I say win.
When? Would you
'Cause it's
rather
like-
lose your phone? Huh?
Because it's like if you want to know how you die, it's like you're eventually gonna die. Like it's inevitable.
I don't want to know how I die. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's
Sure,
like
sure.
just tell me when and I'll work the rest out.
Mhm.
Would you rather lose your phone or your keys? Like you're out and about, you're trying to go somewhere.
I'd rather lose my phone.
Would you rather lose your phone or your keys?
Keys.
Cause like, wait, so did I take my car where I'm at?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't
you're
know.
like basically not in the middle of nowhere, but you're like, say you're at the store and you need to be somewhere in like a couple hours. Would you rather lose your phone or your keys?
Phone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
if you
say
need your
keys.
key, get to a place.
I think I'd rather lose my keys because the phone just had like
You need your keys. I mean,
because my phone has so much info. You can get your keys
Exactly,
remade
bro.
by a locksmith.
but like my car keys are different.
But you
I got
said you got to be there in 2 hours. I mean,
Ah, well, yeah. Well, I'm talking about like permanently lose your phone or permanently lose your
oh,
keys.
permanently.
Like you ain't
Uh,
gonna get them back.
permanently, I'll lose my keys.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
I could lose my phone. Just get another one.
but
Insurance.
Yeah, but you got to reprogram it. You got to get all your stuff on it. You got
yeah,
key. I can go
you
get
get a
some more
locksmith to
keys.
remake your keys
Yeah.
or rekey your car.
But like, what if somebody takes my keys and steals my car?
Yeah, you be alright. They won't do that.
Well, that's what you got insurance for.
Would you rather be deaf or blind?
Oh,
I'd rather be deaf.
Deaf.
I thought that I was
I won't be able to see
dreaming.
Latinas with me if I'm blind.
What did we just talk about?
What?
I think I think it'd be hard, but I'd rather be deaf.
Deaf. Yeah, I'd rather
AJ?
be deaf. What about you, AJ?
What was the first one? You lagged.
Deaf or blind?
I'm gonna say deaf because I know sign language.
Oh
You
yeah, I do
do?
know sign language.
Mm-hmm.
How
We
you
took
forget you know
class.
sign language?
Me and AJ sat next to each other in that class.
Y'all wasn't even friends. It's crazy.
I
Long
thought
live.
AJ really wasn't who he is now back then to me. I just thought he was kind of like he didn't really mess around as much.
Oh, yes, he did.
How?
Yeah. Well, I think because there was I was upperclassman. It's like an upperclassman class. You didn't really like do as much. I didn't see you have to do that joke
That
around.
class sucked. And that teacher was always, bro, she was always like emailing like my parents and she was always just like dragging me. So, like, I'm like, dude, like, why are you on that timing and you can't even hear?
Yeah, she was deaf. She tells us to be quiet. We'll still make noise.
She bought a noise
No,
maker.
I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. What else? Oh, deep question of the day to show people that we don't just joke. It's been a pretty serious episode. Usually we joke around a lot, but deep question of the day. What was your biggest heartbreak, or what was the biggest heartbreak a girl gave you, or a woman said that was or something like that, or biggest action? It doesn't have to be the
I'm
biggest or
confused.
one
What's the
of.
question?
What's your biggest heartbreak or moment or like scenario?
Biggest heartbreak?
Heartbreak, heartbreak, just another hole.
Yeah,
So,
by these tools. They're not tools. I'm sorry.
wow.
Mm.
I wouldn't say heartbreak. I would say an eye opener and realization.
What was that?
Every girl I ran into.
What about Lene?
What about her?
What did she open your eyes about?
That I could do better.
What about MF?
What do you say?
MF. What about MF?
That I could be a better man. And also better.
So Lene taught you that you could do better. No, Lene taught you that you could do better, and then MF taught you that you should do better.
Precisely.
Okay. What about you, Solomon?
My biggest heartbreak is probably.
Well, you only really had one.
How you gonna
You
tell
don't
me?
know everything, Jericho.
How you gonna tell me what I
Right.
had?
You don't know everything about him, Jericho.
I kind of do,
No,
but
you don't. You don't know
You're
how I
like,
take it. You don't know how I feel.
sorry
You're not in
for
tune with
sorry
my
for
mansplaining.
what's it called? Projecting your heartbreak.
You're not in tune with my emotions.
Let's just hurry up and say it.
My biggest heartbreak. Just had so many, bro. I don't know which one. Probably the last one.
The last one. Who was that?
Huh?
Triple B.
The only one that I'm talking about, which I knew you would say.
Well, you just know about the biggest.
Oh,
No L.
the biggest.
Yeah.
What happened?
Triple B.
We broke up.
What happened?
She's about to go to college, and we realized it wasn't good for us, and yeah, that's what happened.
No, you realized.
What was the scenario? What happened?
Scenario. I felt that I couldn't.
He ain't gonna. He ain't gonna say it.
I felt that I couldn't trust her because there's gonna be 20 million dudes there, and I won't be there.
Yeah, she's a D1 soccer player. She'd be like
So that's
around.
probably one of the biggest decisions I've ever had to make, which really wasn't that hard. Well, I feel like I had to do it, so it really wasn't a decision.
Yeah, she's a D1 soccer player, so she have to be around D1 football players and basketball players, baseball players,
Track
tennis
stars.
players, golf players,
Name drop?
rich men.
I hate rich.
Like I think the school is like top 25 in the country
Anyway,
in football.
what are you trying to say right now?
You had a lot of Anyways, what about you, Dad? You don't have to say the biggest, but like
No, it's real. Well, I thought about it, and to be honest, fellas, I don't stress over women like that.
Oh,
No, here's why though. Because there's always some. I mean, there's so many. If one don't work out, get another one. I mean, really. I mean, if a girl start tripping and start wanting to act silly and stuff, or she breaks up with me or whatever, I'll be like, okay, I don't get mad, whatever. Now, wives are different, fellas. Now, wives are different. Even if your mama start tripping and was like, well, I'm gonna get another man and stuff, I just think, okay, whatever. If it's you feel you gotta do. But if I'm not married, I will not trip over a woman. I won't. You go do whatever you want to do. She's grown. I can't make her do what she don't want to do.
He's not gonna do it with me.
I know that there are plenty of other women out there that I can bond with and have a relationship with.
So,
And I've been like that my whole life. I have. Go ahead. What?
More men need that confidence and reassurance in themselves.
Well, women, believe it or not, women like that. They, I'm leaving you and you don't. I mean, it's not that you don't. Look, don't get me wrong. It's not like you don't care about them, right? It's not like you don't care about them. It's like if a woman, like if I'm dating a girl and she go mess around on me, I'm just like, okay, you must want him more, so I'll just go find me somebody else. We're not married, so I don't have any kind of obligation to you like that. When you get married is when things change. You gotta handle things different. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So have you never been heartbroken?
Not really.
Wow.
Yeah.
But because of it's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't care. It's just I realize that okay, we wouldn't. Obviously, we're not meant to, And I'll just go. There's plenty of women out there. There's plenty of them. When you choose the one that you want to marry and you marry that one, then we talk about that kind of stuff. But until then, I don't stress over women like that. There's too many of them out there. It is, man. And you guys know it too. It's just that you forgot or you forget because you start to really like somebody and you go, oh, I gotta have her. No, dude. Just if you bond with that one, you can go bond with another one. And that's how you gotta look at it. If she don't want you, just move on.
I would say
it's effeminate. First of all, it's effeminate.
Interruption.
It's effeminate. It's effeminate not to sit there and cry and whine over a woman that's not even your wife. Your wife is different though. It's a whole different ball game. But if you're just dating a girl or meeting a girl at school or college or something, or in the military or at your job, dude, there's plenty of them out there. Don't be crying and whining over that girl.
I would say I'm kind of the same way. I would say it takes me about a week. Like y'all say, you gotta soak it in, let
Right.
all this stuff go by. I would say the last situation I had took me like a few days to a week. I mean, you
Yeah.
still miss the situation, but her as a person, no, because
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm
I get
saying.
that. I get
Like you
that.
still miss the situation, but her as a person, it's kind of like I could find some.
Yeah, that's true. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really listen to the person necessarily.
Yeah. Or you the fact you had to start. You're like, oh, I gotta start over. Gotta.
And and you also, man, when you able to detach from a woman like that, like all three of y'all, say you all had girlfriends, right? And they all start tripping, and you just go. It's not if you just learn how to detach from them, then guess what happens? All of a sudden they want you back. You know how many times I had that? I've never had a woman in my life not come back that dumped me or wanted to break up. Ask your mother; she'll tell you.
Oh, is that why
They
she came
all
back?
they all come back. But it's a confidence thing, though. It's a
Yeah.
confidence thing. It's not that you don't care about them. It's
Yeah.
that you're willing to let them go in order to find what they need. But while you finding what you need, I'm gonna go over here and go find me another woman to hang out with, right?
Facts. I would say, what's my biggest heartbreak? I've had a lot of them, a lot of small heartbreaks. I would say one of them was like a couple of years ago. There was this Hispanic girl I was talking to, and then my friend Javon. I don't know if you know him. I like posted her on my story, like with like just my friends are on there. He said, and then Javon texted me and said, "Hey, I know her." I said, "How you know her?" He said, "My friend. He's my friend. He knows her. He's like been messing with." I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That kind of had me bet down."
Yeah.
Yeah, I started talking to her, and she texted me. But
Text you on what?
Instagram.
But you know what, Jericho? To be honest, he could have been lying.
Nah,
A
cause
lot of
she.
times, a
Mhm.
lot of times too, guys that like women or want the woman you got, they'll say stuff to get y'all to manipulate you into dropping her or her the same thing.
I see what you're saying, but I saw like she literally posted him on social
Oh,
media.
okay,
So that confirmed it.
okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, but she kind of deceived me, try to make me think. But it's cool.
Love, live, let her go.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Fool
Fool
me
me,
twice,
shame
shame
on
on
me.
me. Fool me three
It's a
times.
very good
Now what?
lesson.
You fool me, can't get fooled again. Anyways,
Yeah.
before we leave, how was everyone's week this past week?
It
Any
was
any
it was
interesting
okay.
events?
Regular week.
Uh,
Did a couple things.
Pretty
what are
regular
the
week.
things you did?
Traveled for work.
AJ, how was wait, AJ, well you didn't play yesterday, but how was the other game you had? I feel like you had another
Is
game.
pretty is pretty mead.
Did you have two games this
This
week or
whole
three?
week has been three.
You had three games? Hmm.
Uh, yeah, we got like hella games throughout the week, and then we got like two more coming up. So it's just been pretty busy, just filled with basketball, schoolwork, just a bunch of
Hmm.
time management stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But other than that,
How do you manage
week's
that?
been pretty solid.
How do you manage all that with a girlfriend?
Uh, I'm not gonna lie, let her know just straight up, just that school and basketball is always first, and before like it's always gonna come before you, and she has to respect that. You know what I'm saying? So why is he shaking his head?
Do
Basketball
you
and
really
school
want
is
to
always
know?
gonna come before her.
Do you really want to
Do
know?
you
I
really
do
want to
want
know?
Just tell him. Just give it
Do
to
you
him.
really want to know, AJ?
Just give it to him.
Okay,
to.
you
I'm in the role.
never,
Give it to me.
please, you never tell a woman that they're not the most important, even if they're not. You never tell them. You never let that come out of your mouth because they're
Mm.
gonna always they're gonna resent that and they're gonna start to detach from you because I'm not the most important thing. What am I here for? We, I mean, undoubtedly she knows that your basketball and your schoolwork is important. You don't have to really tell her, but just kind of, let her down easy, man. Let her know you care, and it's not that I don't want to spend time with you, sweetheart. It's just that, I got to do this and that, and she'll understand that more than you coming out saying, "Look, I told you. It's like telling a girl, well, when we move together, we just gonna have fun, right? This is just, or you dating a girl and you have sex with her, and she gets all serious, and you go, what you getting serious for? This is about fun. They don't handle that well, is what I'm saying. And you don't have to tell her that. You just
Mhm.
let her down easy, If you want to keep her. Now, if you're trying to get rid of her, oh yeah, I gotta go to school and I gotta go to basketball practice. I don't need you. you
That sounds
know.
like something you'd say.
If you want to keep her. If you don't want to keep her, you don't care like that, then
I hear
yeah,
what you
tell her
say.
whatever you want.
So do you want to keep her? Nah, I'm saying nothing.
That's
Oh,
just
this
the
is a
type of
public
guy I am.
podcast. She could
Maybe
easily
maybe
see
it's something
this. But
maybe it's something I got to
yeah.
work on. But I hear where you're coming from. I'll take it into consideration.
Look, hey, I had to work on it because I was like you. Hey, I gotta go to work. I was kind of like that. Really direct with women. Even with your wife, you can't be because they get hurt too easy. They get their feelings hurt really easy, and they start resenting you and stuff. And they don't. And you don't mean to be hard like that. I know, but they can't. Women, they just can't take it because they love you and they care about you. The girl wouldn't be with you, AJ, if she didn't care for you. And when you're talking to them, you got to really keep that in mind. That you can hurt her very easy by talking like that. It's not that you mean to. It's just that they get hurt really easy, and when they start getting hurt, they start thinking he don't care about me, he don't love me, so I'm gonna find me somebody else that's gonna treat me better. And you just be innocent. You just like, look, I gotta go to
Mm-hmm.
work, I gotta go to school, I gotta,
Mm.
and
My
that's
week.
and that's for the rest of your life too, man. I talk to my,
Yeah.
I don't I don't raise my voice to my wife. I don't. Um, I don't. My tone of voice is always loving as best as I can do it because I know how much she loves me, and if she senses any kind of animosity, she starts to get hurt. And then when they start getting hurt, and they start thinking you don't care about them, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there.
Mm.
Yeah.
My week was pretty.
I don't
I
think we asked.
I didn't go to. Bro, you
Just
can
play.
get out.
Just play.
Mm-hmm.
My week is pretty okay. I didn't go to the gym all week. I hurt my armpit. Benching 315.
How much did you bench?
315.
I don't think they
315.
Yep, I'll say it again. 315. I know I said last episode, but I hurt my arm.
315.
I should have just worked out my legs, but I was like, The
no point.
I need to work on my motivation, my self discipline, because if the motivation's not, where did he go?
Phone dead.
No, he's on the computer. Anyway, I'll keep talking. But if the motivation is not there, I need to work on that. Not listen to my emotions, or what is it? Not listen to my mood, and more so listen to what I know I should do,
Yeah,
which is very hard to do.
it is.
But yeah, I went to the doctor. They said I was very vitamin D deficient. I got some blood work, which is crazy because if I didn't ask to get my blood work done, I wouldn't have known. But I thought they should do automatically. But they said my vitamin D was very low, which if your vitamin D is low can cause lots of issues. It was like at a 9 or something like that. My vitamin D was like at a 9. It should be like in the 50 to 70 range. That's what it says.
Woo!
But they said like 70% of people are vitamin D deficient, but it's really like in the 30s usually. But mine was like at 9, which is super low. So they gave me. I'm gonna start taking some supplements. It says it can cause. What is it? Lack of vitamin D can cause like depression, hair loss. Just because you not have the correct vitamins and you're just deficient at it. What else does it cause? You cause yourself to procrastinate more. It's a lot harder to do things, and your energy's super low. So I didn't notice my energy was kind of low. I don't get enough sun. But yeah, well, that's one of the causes. But besides symptoms. But besides that, my week was cool. Work, it gets annoying. I don't want to say too much in case my bosses see this, but it's a job.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a job. But
You here?
how about you, Dad?
Oh, yeah, rough week, man. I ain't got enough time to get done what needs to be done. My business is suffering, but it'll work out eventually, I'm sure.
Type. Any closing thoughts before we get out?
That was free game for all y'all listening. If you listen to the whole thing, you're mid.
I'll chop it up into some clips.
Yeah, but that was free game. Y'all should have been
When will
listening.
you
So
be
word for
posting
word, bar for bar.
the clips on TikTok, Jericho?
Whenever I get to it. Unless you want to do it.
You're the group leader.
Any closing thoughts, Solomon? Oh, that was your closing thoughts. My closing thoughts. Appreciate our guests. If you need marriage help and you're a Catholic or Christian man, CatholicAlpha.com is right here.
Put a link in the bio.
Let me put my finger right here. Look at my finger. It's right there.
AJ, closing thoughts.
All right, can you hear me now? Yeah, anybody hear me?
Hello?
Now I'm lagging.
We need to work on your internet.
Anyway,
If I had my own house, I would.
Say it again. Let's try it. Third time's the charm.
Mr. Jacobs, thank you for spending your time and taking the time out of your day to be with us tonight on this podcast. I enjoyed all the knowledge and wisdom that you passed on to us, and I'm very grateful that I got to listen in on all your stories and all the advice. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, man. Thanks y'all for having me on. And anytime, we can, we can talk about girls anytime you want. We can think, I had fun, had a good time, and just let me know if you want to hang out again.
For sure.
All right.
thank you, TheCatholicAlpha.com.
Whatever, Solomon. Oh boy, that's a threefer.
Yeah, I'm
All right, hold up. Wait, before. All right, then, y'all. Catch y'all on the next episode. Who's our next guest? Are we going to have Alec Plummer? Or should we have
Why don't we just stop the recording? This is a waste.
Alec Plummer? Okay. All right, y'all.